Hello, hello.
How are you? Okay, how are
Fine,
you today? Okay, good.
fine, very well. And you?
I'm okay, thank God. I'm fine. Okay, I'm going to do this. All
Good.
right. And sorry, I have to change. I was getting things ready for the class. Let me see. I have to publish this and I'll get to your folder. Well, okay. Let's start. Today we have to do some speaking. So here we go. It says. Hmm. Remember last class we were looking at the clusters, yes?
Yes.
Okay, like student, street, smart, yes, okay. I don't remember if we read these words. Do you
Uh,
remember reading the words? I don't think so, yes? Let's repeat the following words. Here, can you read
yes.
them, please? Yes, you have,
Okay. You don't.
am I not
Wait.
sharing? Sorry, yes,
No,
okay.
no change.
Just a second. Okay, there we are. Okie dokie. So here the idea is that we repeat these words. Yes,
Okay.
here.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. That. Yeah. Yes. The is works. Student, street, smart, snake, slab, school, scope, skip, square, space, split, and spring.
Yes, slap. Do you know what slap is?
Uh, slap.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you
Ah,
remember Armando Andres soap operas? He used to slap. Yes.
yes.
Luisa Gulliok, I think, in her face. Yes, to slap somebody. Yes, that would be to slap. Or the other way around. I think Luisa Gulliok used to slap him in the face, right? And scope.
Okay. Oh, is similar to step.
No, it would be alcance. Yes, that is the scope
Ah,
of a measure, for
yes.
example. Yes.
Okay.
Well, skip, square, space, split, like separate in two. Yes. And
Yes.
well, spring can be used in terms of development. For example, you can have spring water, or for example, the season, right? Spring. Now, here,
Yes. Perfect.
let's read the following sentences.
One moment. Uh,
Mhm.
okay. Spanish speakers study hard.
Good,
I
very good.
started. Sorry.
That was okay. Good. It was well said.
Okay. I started doing sport and I stopped smoking. Oh, very good.
Stopped. Yes, stopped smoking. Yes. Do you
Smoke.
smoke?
No,
Okay,
no,
all right.
it's very bad for
Horrible. Yes.
the health.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there any study on
Studio.
this? Oh, sorry. Yes. Is there any studio on this street?
Good.
Okay. Is there any studio on this street?
Mhm.
Studio, music studio,
For
music.
example, yes, it could be, is there any studio on this street? Yes, it could be a music studio. Yes, that's right. A
Okay.
legal studio.
Okay. Yes. Office, similar
Yeah,
office.
exactly, like an office.
Okay.
The
The
snail slowly stopped.
snail slowly stopped it.
Okay,
The
what's
snail slowly stopped it.
snail? What is a snail?
Uh, snail is a snail. Sorry.
In French, escargot. Let's see, maybe you can get it through that. Escargot? Yes. Have you ever heard about that dish?
Snail is similar to. Ah, no, sorry, se me confundí con snake, nada que ver.
No,
Snake es
no,
el
no.
string. No, snail.
Well, it normally eats our plants. You see, this is a snail, right? That is a snail. You can find them in the gardens, yes? And they eat up all your plants, yes? They look
Ok.
really cute. They are very cute, but they are really destructive. They eat up all my
Mm,
plants, yes?
oh, yes. This the enemy for my mother.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yes. And the other ones without the shell are the slugs. Yes, are slugs. You speak of
Oh,
slugs. Yes, these ones, slugs. They destroy all your plants. These are slugs. Yes.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes.
Well,
Twin enemies.
yeah, they are. They are very effective. Slow but effective.
But I think it's a nice insect.
Yes, they are very cute. Sometimes, well, for example, in my case, I try not to kill them. Sometimes I step on them by accident because they are everywhere. And maybe if I am not with proper lightning, for instance, I hear the crushing of the little animal under my foot, and it breaks my heart because I know that it takes them ages to arrive at a place, and they are so, I don't know, vulnerable in a way, right?
Yes, exist.
There is.
Uh, sorry, see, there is a horrific method. The control for this insect is cut the
Antennas.
envase, ¿cómo sería?
The package. Cut the
Okay,
package.
okay, cut the baggage of the beer and
Ah, the bottle.
and the bottle, yes, and this insect to prefer very prefer the Malta
Ah, okay.
for the
Okay.
beer,
Okay.
and you cut the bottle and
Uh-huh.
the insect up the bottle and took his
And
out.
drinks all the Malta. I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very bad, but it's efficient.
yeah, I know that people do that. Yeah, I don't put anything, but can be found. I think they are not insects. I think they are like
No, it's
gastropod. The name is often applied to land snails, terrestrial, palmonate, gastropod, mollusk. Yes, it's a mollusk. Es un
yes,
molusco.
okay,
Yes,
mollusco. Yes. I think
yes,
to mollusco, but I
yes.
know
It's
not sure.
mollusk.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah, that's a word. Mollusk. Yeah. I see.
mollusk.
Yeah, I don't do anything to them. Last time when I went to the flower store, the guy told me that what he does is he picks them all up and he takes them to maybe plots of land that are inhabited so that they can carry on their lives but away from his plants.
Yes,
And I think that's a good
okay.
idea.
And they eat the plant, but is your method of eating.
Yes, yeah. Then here in Spain,
Okay, in Spain, everybody has a smartphone. Okay,
good,
in
yes.
In Argentina too.
In Argentina, yes, too, yes. I have to renew my phone, and yesterday there was a nice promotion from Personal.
Okay,
But I am in two minds what to buy. And obviously, the prices, I have to think of something that is manageable to have an installment for 12 months too.
now
So 12
okay.
or 6 months. Then here, the next one is
And the next one, when do you start studying?
okay, when to start
When
studying,
do you
fine,
start
great,
studying?
good. Here. It says one of the main characteristics of agile methodology is teamwork. What makes a team function successfully? For example, what's your idea of a successful team?
The skill number one for a team or a good team is a active, escucha activa, ¿cómo sería?
Active listening, yes.
Okay,
Active listening. Today is July the 28th. I see. Okay. So
okay,
a key element
a key element for a good team.
for a good team is active listening. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. What
Active
element?
listening. And number two, respect or the opinion for the
Mhm.
integrant
Okay. And so number two is to show respect.
is yes, perfect.
For
Attitude and compromise for the integrant
commitment. Yes. Members of the team attitude and sorry,
and
and
compromise
commitment.
commitment. Okay, sorry, commitment for the members
Attitude.
or the
Yes.
integrant
Yeah, you won't say integrants. You said members. Yes,
members. Okay,
the members. Attitude and commitment. I commit myself to the members.
okay,
Members.
and the last one. Yes. Sorry, era se llama, tiene una palabra, sorry,
Mhm. That's okay.
em, en lo que es de Cape, okay, yes, it's compromise for de lograr los resultados. ¿Cómo es?
Yes,
Compromiso.
or yes, maybe to show once again commitment or to be engaged. Yes, in the
Okay,
activity. Yes, to show engagement
engagement, yes, es la palabra
to
que no me sale.
achieve results. Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
to show engagement to achieve result. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
That will be the way. Okay. Marvelous. Good. Now, here, what habits and values promote teamwork and collaboration?
Okay. What habit and value promote teamwork and collaboration? Okay, it's similar
Yes, what we
to
have said so far. I think, yes. Um, in general, for example, at UPL, what do you find outstanding as a characteristic among the people who work there?
okay. One habit important is
An important habit,
an important habit is respect for the puntualidad. ¿Cómo se dice?
punctuality. An
An
important
important.
habit is to maybe show respect for punctuality.
Okay. Respect. Ah, okay.
For
To show.
punctuality, okay.
Okay. Uh, compromise for the
Commitment
sorry, commitment for the tarea, for the
for the
uh,
tasks. The tasks,
yes.
yes, commitment for the tasks. Okay, all right, good.
uh,
Mm,
okay.
Great.
And it's important to feedback with the team.
Okay, feedback is a noun, so it's important to, and you need a verb, and then feedback is. It's important to provide, for
Send.
example,
Ok, o claro.
supply,
Provide.
provide, yes, provide, supply, feedback, for example,
Yes,
eh,
with the members.
to the members, yes, to the team
Mhm.
members, sorry, members, okay, yes,
Perfect.
all righty, good. Then it says, listen to the following audio and answer the questions individually. Let me see which
Mhm.
is it. Some feelings there. Well, okay, you have. I'll look it up. Here. Let's read the questions first. It says, what do
Okay, why do technology companies encourage their
encourage?
employees encourage their employees to work together?
Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, it was why. I said what? Why do technology companies encourage their employees to work together? What do you think they're going to say about this?
Technology companies. Okay, yeah. Yes, Google, Alphabet.
But then the question, I mean, why do they encourage their employees to work together?
Sorry, encourage. What do
Encourage
you
is to
mean?
stimulate, yes? When
Ah,
you encourage someone, you are stimulating, you are providing courage, yes? And so that is what you mean by encourage. For example, when you have children, you normally encourage your children to accept challenges, yes, to go ahead, to, I don't know, do different activities, yes.
okay.
Sometimes,
It's similar to promote.
yes, okay. The idea is that you have to, yeah, it would be to promote, yeah. But the idea is that you are giving that extra permission by providing um, a support, yes, to the
Okay,
person.
good.
Encourage, yes. To encourage is to stimulate. Okay, that would be to stimulate.
Okay.
Well, so then let me see here. It says, um,
Why? Porque
but for example, why do technology companies encourage their employees to work together? Why is that so?
Okay. This point encourage is important for the promote the creativity in the team.
Yes, okay, to promote creativity. I think also, for example, it could be a good tool to avoid mistakes because you can supervise activities in a better
Yeah.
way. Yes, to minimize error. And obviously, yeah, with creativity, it's amazing because it's um, the power that you get is incredible. The synergy that is achieved by working in a team is unbelievable. Yes,
Yes.
you can count on resources that maybe you don't know just by interacting with other people. Then, what was
Yes.
Google's?
Is sorry. Is interesting case. The company 3M company.
Uh-huh, 3M,
Uh,
3M.
3M.
Yes, not three, but three, three, three.
3M.
Right, 3M.
3M. This company have the culture
Us
to innovation
to
in
innovate.
the to innovate in the members of a team.
Yes,
and one one team create to post it. The post it.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yes, yes, I read
Okay.
about the case.
Okay. This idea surge, ¿cómo sería?
Appeared or
Okay.
yes, appeared, I guess, started.
Okay.
Yeah,
This idea appeared for the members to team
arose
think.
too.
Yes, think improvement for the.
Think of improvement. Yes, you
Yes.
have arise, the past tense arose. Yes, yeah. A company that had this motto, este lema, was Arcor, for example. I used to be a teacher over there, and every employee had always to think of new ways of doing things. So I used to have
Mm,
a student in the marketing department, and he was delighted. But I also
good.
had a student in the logistics department, and he was
Okay.
desperate because he said, "What else can I change?"
Yeah.
So and there was and he found that pressure, right, of always trying to find something new so that he would carry on with certain innovation within
Mhm.
his department. Yeah, for obviously marketing or development, for example, research and development, that was marvelous. Yeah, because that was constantly stimulated from the head.
Yes. Yes,
Well,
it's important. You think
the company has
the company has miles employees in the world.
miles.
Uh,
No, you would say
sorry,
miles on millas.
no, sorry, sí, 100, no,
100
miles,
million thousands.
claro,
Yes,
por
the
eso.
company has.
House. Okay, these companies
Thousands.
has
Yes,
thousands employees in a world.
yes,
This is
around the world.
this around the world. This is a potential thinking very very important.
Yes. Okay. Right. Yeah. Then, what was Google's internal project? Aristotle, about what were its characteristics? I don't know. I hear there's a mistake, I think. What was Google's internal project? What was Google's internal project? Aristotle about, and what were its characteristics? That's the way it should be read. Yes, so Google had an internal project and its name was Aristotle. Here we should have commas. Yes, it says, what was Google's internal project Aristotle about and what were its characteristics? So we don't know about that. What was the initial hypothesis of the study and what were their findings? Yes. The next
Okay.
question, can you read here, please?
Yes. What were the behavior that
Behaviors,
behavior? Okay. What were the behavior that the researchers noticed?
noticed,
Noticed?
noticed, yes,
Noticed. Researcher noticed about the best team. Okay, again. What were the
yes, the
behaviors that the researchers noticed about the best teams?
behaviors.
Um,
We don't know. We have to listen for this, right? It says, what were the behaviors that the researchers noticed about the best teams? Behaviors son comportamientos, ¿no?
mhm.
So apparently the best teams were under observation and they could detect certain patterns of behavior,
Yes,
right?
yes, perfect. Okay.
We don't know. We have to listen for this, yeah, because um, we need to do a listening comprehension exercise so as to get this information. Then the next
Yes.
question,
How can you social
determine,
si- determine? How
yes,
can you determine social sensitivity and who did it score in the different team?
And how? Yes, and how did it score in the
And
different
how?
teams? Yes,
Yes, and how did it
how did
score
it score in
in
the
different
different
teams?
teams? Okay, and the last question is
Yes, sorry, social sensitivity, what do you mean? Social sensitivity.
I don't know, maybe the way they interact. Yes, it says, how can you determine social sensitivity? This might have to do, for example, with the way the members of a team interact. I don't know. We have to do the listening. Yeah.
Okay.
What were
Is,
the
simi-
conclusions?
is similar to, sorry, social sensitivity is similar to social climb?
Time.
Yes, sorry, social
You
health.
mean environment,
Yes, social clima social que se dice.
the social environment, maybe you can speak of environment.
Mm,
I will have to listen to the recording, yes, to see what they are referring to. Yes.
Okay, no problem.
Then what were
What were the conclusion of the project?
okay,
What
so now
were the
we
conclusions
will
of the
listen to this. I'm sorry, I have to activate here new share so that we can do the listening properly. That's it. Good. You know, I got it corrected. I mean, they have rescheduled your class at Zoom, and I think that probably that has improved the way we are getting connected. Yes, because your class had been canceled in a way. I don't know what had happened in my Zoom dashboard, and now I see that this has by having it scheduled it once again, the connection has improved.
Oh, okay.
The name of something that family and clusters. No, agile home for families, agile programming for your family. No, how to apply home. Oh my God, which one is it? Maybe it's this one. I don't know. Let me see. For your family.
Oh, feedback.
So here's the good news about families. The last 50 years have seen a revolution in what it means to be a family. We have blended families, adoptive families. We have nuclear families living in separate.
Nothing to do with Google. Let me see. No, not this one. Sorry.
Revolution of family. Huh?
Yeah, values explain. No, this should be. Oh, let me see if it's this one. No, this was what we have already seen. And
Agile methodology.
this is again families. How agile principles work with Yvonne Marcus. It will redirect me to this page. Oh,
Yes.
just check. Well, I'll
Agile.
listen to it a little bit further. Maybe he's going to talk about Google and family. I don't know. Just a
Okay, probably.
I will fast forward it a little bit to
Our kids are something like Bermuda Triangles, like thoughts and ideas go in, but none ever comes out. I mean, at least not that are revealing. This gave us access suddenly to their innermost thoughts. But the most surprising part was when we turned to what are we going to work on the week ahead? You know, the key idea of Agile is that teams essentially manage themselves, and it works in software, and it turns out that it works with kids.
Well, it seems to be somehow related with
So here's the good news about families. The last 50 years have seen a revolution in what it means to be a family. We have blended families, adoptive families. We have nuclear families living in separate houses and divorced families living in the same house. But through it all, the family has grown stronger. 8 in 10 say the family they have today is as strong or stronger than the family they grew up in. Now here's the bad news. Nearly everyone is completely overwhelmed by the chaos of family life. Every parent I know, myself included, feels like we're constantly playing defense. Just when our kids stop teething, they start having tantrums. Just when they stop needing our help taking a bath, they need our help dealing with cyber stalking or bullying. And here's the worst news of all. Our children sense we're out of control. Ellen Galinsky of the Families and Work Institute asked 1,000 children, if you were granted one wish about your parents, what would it be? The parents predicted the kids would say, spending more time with them. They were wrong. The kids' #1 wish, that their parents be less tired and less stressed. So how can we change this dynamic? Are there concrete things we can do to reduce stress, draw our family closer, and generally prepare our children to enter the world? I spent the last few years trying to answer that question, traveling around, meeting families, talking to scholars, experts ranging from elite peace negotiators to Warren Buffett's bankers to the Green Berets. I was trying to figure out, what do happy families do right, and what can I learn from them to make my family happier? I want to tell you about one family that I met and why I think they offer clues. At 7 p.m. on a Sunday in Hidden Springs, Idaho, the 6 members of the Starr family are sitting down to the highlight of their week, the family meeting. The Starrs are a regular American family with their share of regular American family problems. David is a software engineer. Eleanor takes care of their 4 children, ages 10 to 15. One of those kids tutors math on the far side of town, one has lacrosse on the near side of town, one has Asperger's syndrome, one has ADHD. We were living in complete chaos, Eleanor said. What the Starrs did next, though, was surprising. Instead of turning to friends or relatives, they looked to David's workplace. They turned to a cutting-edge program called Agile Development that was just spreading from manufacturers in Japan to startups in Silicon Valley. In Agile, workers are organized into small groups and do things in very short spans of time. So instead of having executives issue grand proclamations, the team, in effect, manages itself. You have constant feedback. You have daily update sessions. You have weekly reviews. You're constantly changing. David said when they brought this system into their home, the family meetings in particular increased communication, decreased stress, and made everybody happier to be part of the family team. When my wife and I adopted these family meetings and other techniques into the lives of our then 5-year-old twin daughters, it was the biggest single change we made since our daughters were born. And these meetings had this effect while taking under 20 minutes. So what is Agile, and why can it help with something that seems so different, like families? In 1983, Jeff Sutherland was a technologist at a financial firm in New England. He was very frustrated with how software got designed. Companies followed the waterfall method, right, in which executives issued orders that slowly trickled down to programmers below, and no one had ever consulted the programmers. 83% of projects failed. They were too bloated or too out of date by the time they were done. Sutherland wanted to create a system where ideas didn't just percolate down, but could percolate up from the bottom and be adjusted in real time. He read 30 years of Harvard Business Review before stumbling upon an article in 1986 called The New Product Development Game. It said that the pace of business was quickening. And by the way, this was 1986. And the most successful companies were flexible. It highlighted Toyota and Canon and likened their adaptable, tight-knit teams to rugby scrums. As Sutherland told me, we got to that article and said, that's it. In Sutherland's system, companies don't use large, massive projects that take 2 years. They do things in small chunks. Nothing takes longer than 2 weeks. So instead of saying, you guys go off into that bunker and come back with a cell phone or a social network, you say, you go off and come up with one element, then bring it back. Let's talk about it. Let's adapt. You succeed or fail quickly. Today, Agile is used in 100 countries, and it's sweeping into management suites. Inevitably, people began taking some of these techniques and applying it to their families. You had blogs pop up and some...
Yes, is it okay? Can you follow? I cannot hear you. I think you're muted.
Okay, sorry. Yes, the point, the internet, sorry. Aquí. The interest point is the characteristic of the teams of successfully teams.
Successful team. Yes, that's right.
Successful team. Okay, the flexibility, the importance, the change for a team not is
It is not.
it is not not important change in maybe step short step
Okay, all right. Like
step
to
for a step.
step by
Mhm.
step, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Um, okay, and I don't know the connection in the family for the team for this company. I
Sorry
I
again. Sorry, I was trying to listen to another audio to see if I can spot the article about Google, but no, I couldn't find it. Yes, tell me. You
no,
said
I don't to see the connection in the family with the successful team. No, no,
okay.
I don't see.
Well, apparently, by applying agile methodology, they could reduce the stress and
Ah,
maybe the lack of achievements that they had while interacting as a family. Yeah, so they applied this methodology and they
ah,
became a more successful team. Yes, in a way. But it's true they are not talking about Google. I unfortunately it hasn't been labeled in the proper way for me to be able to find it properly. So I will try. Let's see. We'll carry on
okay,
listening to this listening, and we'll see if they tap on this topic of Google, or if not,
okay.
I should have listened to it before. Actually, let's see. Let's go
No,
on here.
okay.
written. Even the Sutherlands told me that they had an agile Thanksgiving, where you had one group of people working in the food, one setting the table, and one greeting visitors at the door. Sutherland said it was the best Thanksgiving ever. So let's take one problem that families face, crazy mornings, and talk about how Agile can help. A key plank is accountability. So teams use information radiators, these large boards in which everybody is accountable. So the stars, in adapting this to their home, created a morning checklist in which each child is expected to tick off chores. So in the morning I visited, Eleanor came downstairs, poured herself a cup of coffee, sat in a reclining chair. And she sat there genuinely, kind of amiably talking to each of her children. As one after the other, they came downstairs, checked the list, made themselves breakfast, checked the list again, put the dishes in the dishwasher, rechecked the list, fed the pets or whatever chores they had, checked the list once more, gathered their belongings, and made their way to the bus. It was one of the most astonishing family dynamics I have ever seen. And when I strenuously objected, this would never work in our house. Our kids needed way too much monitoring. Eleanor looked at me. That's what I thought, she said. I told David, keep your work out of my kitchen. But I was wrong. So I turned to David, so why does it work? He said, you can't underestimate the power of doing this. And he made a check mark. He said, in the workplace, adults love it. With kids, it's heaven. The week we introduced a morning checklist into our house, it cut parental screaming in half. But the real change didn't come till we had these family meetings. So
screaming, yes. So both himself and his wife shouted, said, "Stop doing that!" Yes. So it cut parental screaming in half, right?
Is typical for a functional the family.
Yeah, for a family to function, yes.
But the real change didn't come till we had these family meetings. So following the Agile model, we ask 3 questions. What worked well in our family this week? What didn't work well? And what will we agree to work on in the week ahead? Everyone throws out suggestions, and then we pick 2 to focus on. And suddenly the most amazing thing coming out of our daughter.
The 3 questions?
Yes.
Again, sorry?
Yeah, once again, I'm going to play back.
Into our house, it cut parental screaming in half. But the real change didn't come till we had these family meetings. So following the Agile model, we ask 3 questions. What worked well in our family this week?
What wrong?
Following the Agile model, we ask 3 questions. What worked well in our family this week?
What worked well in our family this week? Yes, what worked well in our family this week?
So following the Agile model, we ask 3 questions. What worked well in our family this week? What didn't work well?
Sorry. This question. What
worked well? ¿Qué funcionó bien? Yes, what worked well in our family this week?
El fin de semana, en la semana, perdón.
In the family this week, yes. What didn't work well? That was the second one, yes. They have.
But the real change didn't come till we had these family meetings. So following the Agile model, we ask 3 questions. What worked well in our family this week? What didn't work well? And what will we agree to work on in the week ahead?
And so what do we agree to work on in the family? In the week ahead, yes, with our family in the week ahead.
In our family this week? What didn't work well? And what will we agree to work on in the week ahead? Everyone throws out suggestions, and then we pick 2 to focus on.
So everyone?
On in the week ahead. Everyone throws out suggestions, and then we pick 2 to focus on.
Okay, sorry. You repeat me the 3 questions, please. You, no him.
What worked well in our family this week? What didn't work well? Or in the last week, I think. Then what didn't work well, and what will we work on in the next week? Yes.
Okay, sorry. This question is how do promote to resolve the problem?
Problems. Yeah, actually, to improve the family dynamics. Yes, maybe. I don't know, to deal with the usual situations, to avoid screaming, to get the children to do things like, I don't know, tidy up their rooms, make their beds, maybe bring the cups or glasses to the sink, or do a bit of some washing up, for example, after taking breakfast, yes, or having a shower. I mean, the usual issues that crop up within the family dynamics, yeah, that sometimes generate conflict.
Yes.
What works well in our family this week?
Not common. Common is not common in the family. This practice analyze for the dynamic.
Yeah.
Normally, currently has two dynamic.
I couldn't get what you said. The family normally has.
Yes, the family normally has going to the
Go with the flow. Yes, the family goes with the flow.
yes, yes,
Yes, I think that maybe we sort of lack planning as a family in general. Like
yes,
we do things just because things demand to be done, but we don't, unless, I don't know, you think about things on purpose. But
yes,
when it's midday, you have to cook, or if if it's I don't know, if the day is about to come to an end, you have to prepare dinner, and I don't know, if
yes,
there are things dirty, you have to wash them. But we don't formally say, okay, today at 11:30 I start dinner. What will I prepare? Okay, I have to
yes.
buy potatoes, and it will take
No,
me
no.
minutes to prepare everything, and at 12 lunch will be ready. Yes, it's like if we go into that detailed organization, maybe things
Yes,
would work better. I don't know.
yes, yes. Is this method probably has more successful,
It's more successful. Yes, it is more
but
successful.
is not common.
No, 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 it's true. Yeah, because it would offer like a rigid structure too. I think that applying it would be fruitful, right? It would help us achieve fruitful results. The thing is
Yes,
that maybe when you go back to your house, you want to forget about work. and,
yes,
and it would be like, I don't know, bringing something from work into the family structure. Probably it would make, because if you think about it, for instance, if our children had this training when they go into school, it would be less chaotic because they would expect this kind of order
okay.
to be accepted. Normally when you have children at school, what you find is resistance to
Yes,
organization, to okay, we need to accomplish these goals. Like children want to play, they don't want to do another thing other than playing. And then
only play.
it makes yes, it makes it hard to achieve results because of this.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, the most desafiant.
The most challenging,
Okay,
the
the most
challenging,
challenging. The most challenging for this method is include your children.
yes. So no, the greatest challenge in that case, yes, or the most challenging aspect, for example, because challenging is an adjective. So, or
Oh,
the main challenge is to include your children, right? Yeah.
What didn't work well, and
I'm sorry, I have to share this. Is it sharing or not? Oh yeah, yes, it is. So, so he's once again going through the questions, right?
okay,
What didn't work well?
what will we agree to work on in the week ahead? Everyone throws out suggestions, and then we pick two to focus on.
So, for them to carry on working as a future project, everyone thought of two suggestions and they picked one, right, to work on.
And
okay.
suddenly the most amazing things started coming out of our daughters' mouths. What worked well this week? Getting over our fear of riding bikes, making our beds. What didn't work well? Our math sheets, or greeting visitors at the door.
Yes, what worked well? What did the girls say that worked well?
Yes, a good job. Work well. Is similar.
No,
Ahead.
let's see.
Everyone throws out suggestions, and then we pick two to focus on. And suddenly the most amazing things started coming out of our daughters' mouths.
Yes, suddenly the most amazing things started to come out of our daughter's mouths.
What worked well this week?
Ah,
Getting
So the girl said, what worked well this week? Well,
most
here,
amazing things started coming out of our daughters' mouths. What worked well this week? Getting over our fear of riding bikes.
getting over, that is to overcome, yes, our
mhm.
fear of riding bikes. Yes, so that was successful, right? They
Good.
put it on super R, yes, get over
Sí.
their fear of riding bikes.
Making our beds.
Making our beds was something that also worked well.
What didn't work well? Our math sheets.
What didn't work well? Our maths sheets. Yes, maybe they had exercises to complete and they did not work well. Yes, those sheets did not work well.
Or greeting visitors at the door.
Yes, or greeting visitors at the door.
Like a
Okay.
lot of parents, our kids are something like Bermuda Triangles, like thoughts and ideas go in, but none ever comes out. I mean, at least not that are revealing.
Okay, so here.
Greeting visitors at the door. Like a lot of parents, our kids are something like Bermuda Triangles, like thoughts and ideas go in, but none ever.
Yes, like he used to think that kids were like a Bermuda Triangle where thoughts and ideas go in but never come out. Yes, nothing comes out of children. Like they are there as receptive, in a receptive role, right? They are
Yeah.
much more in a receptive role than in a let's see, active
Yes.
position, right?
Never
Yes.
comes out.
Compromise
Not that
with a team.
Commitment, yes, commitment with the
Meaning, sorry.
team. Yes,
our kids are something like Bermuda Triangles, like thoughts and ideas go in, but none ever comes out. I mean, at least not that are revealing. This gave us access suddenly to their innermost thoughts.
so this methodology or these dynamics suddenly gave them access to their innermost thoughts.
But the most surprising part was when we turned to what are we going to work on the week ahead. You know, the key idea of Agile is that teams essentially manage themselves, and it works in software, and it turns out that it works with kids.
So here, could you follow this?
To what are we going to work on the week ahead? You know, the key idea of Agile is that teams essentially manage themselves, and it works in software, and it turns out that it works with kids.
Yes. The key thing of Agile methodology is that workers assert and organize themselves, right? They manage themselves. And so this was something that also started to work in the family.
Teams essentially manage themselves, and it works in software, and it turns out that it works with kids. Our kids love this process, so they would come up with all these ideas. You know, greet 5 visitors at the door this week, get an extra 10 minutes of reading before bed. Yes, you know, greet 5 visitors at the door this week.
The success for this method is the roles of a kids in the team.
To actually get them to commit themselves actively in the activities.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Get an extra 10 minutes of reading before bed. Kick someone, lose desserts for a month.
Okay, so here what he's working on is on reward and punishment. Yes, if you do something right, okay, you get to, here he said, read for extra 10 minutes. And if you kick someone, I don't remember what he said.
So they would come up with all these ideas. You know, greet 5 visitors at the door this week, get an extra 10 minutes of reading before bed. Kick someone, lose desserts for a month.
You lose desserts for a month. Yes, wow, it's hard, yeah. Okay, well, Americans are like that. They work hard on punishment. Yes, you see that the population behave orderly because fines are high. If you are driving your car without your seatbelt on, you are fined, and there's no way of getting away with that. If you cross the street in the wrong place, I didn't see anyone get fined, but it's considered a crime. It's called jaywalking. So they are very, very, very strict on, let's see, on punishing things that are wrong. Or, for example, once I was in San Francisco and I went out with a group of people that were at the same hostel I was in, and one of the guys had brought out to the street a glass of beer that he had hidden his sleeve because he knew that that was forbidden. All of a sudden, a policeman appeared right in front of him. shouting at him as if he were the worst criminal on earth. This guy that was kind of, I don't know, like showing himself as a big ham, como medio mandaparte. I
Mm-hmm.
saw him shrinking as little as this in front of this policeman. He was this close to peeing on his pants because they
Yes.
they treat you as if you were the scum. And all because he was carrying a glass of beer that he definitely knew it was wrong because he had it hidden up his sleeve. I didn't know that he was doing that. And well, I don't remember what happened afterwards, if he was made to throw the beer away or if the policeman realized that he was a tourist. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I remember vividly that scene.
Yes.
Or even at customs, when you go through customs and you don't respond in the proper way, if they don't interact with you in the right way, sometimes people, when they don't know English, they get closer to their booths and then they shout them back at them as if they were war criminals. Yes, war prisoners.
Yes. The American society is not faro, ¿cómo se diría? Faro moral,
Like
¿cómo sería la palabra?
there you can speak of a moral beacon. A
Okay.
beacon is it's normally taken. It's the same. It's an old word for lighthouse. But the one that we have as a north, then that would be a beacon. Hmm.
Beacon.
Yes, Becon, beacon.
Okay. Ah, beacon. Okay. It's
Yes, a
not
moral beacon.
it's not moral beacon. In general,
Yes,
probably has a successful case in any way in any
in some
yes in any state, but in general
in
is
some states. Yes. Well, what
yes.
I see for when I was there for the first time, for example, I found quite interesting that they are very conservative. For example,
Mm,
people get married, they are
yes.
quite concerned about, I don't know, moral issues in general, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the problem they really have is that they bring back from the front line people that are totally traumatized, and they
Yes.
insert it back to society and they start interacting with their families, with the rest of the society. And that's why you have snipers, then people killing everyone, maybe at a school. It could be little children that were brought up by these veterans of war that are absolutely out of their minds in some cases. When
Yes.
I was in Hawaii, and there where I was working, there was a guy that had been to Vietnam and he could only sleep for 2 hours a day because he was fearful that the helicopters would appear. And
Yes.
he was a nice person, but he behaved like a 12-year-old child. His emotions got stuck at that stage. And like
Yes.
that, then, for example, I was coordinating classes, and once I hired an American speaker, an American teacher, and he
Okay.
would do crazy things at the office. Maybe he would knock on the people's offices just to, I don't know, say something very trivial while my students were in the middle of an important meeting, for instance. And in the end, I had to ask him please to leave because he was not behaving in the proper way. Now, the
Right.
guy, I explained to him why I was taking this measure, and he thanked me. He was kind because he said to me, "Thank you, because I have been expelled from other places, and I don't know what my problem was." So he could not detect where he was going wrong either. And well, when I talked to him about what had gone wrong, he was thankful. He showed his gratitude because it was a way of giving him some clues on what was dysfunctional, yes, at that moment with him. Okay.
Yes,
Oh, past tense.
they have tried to be moral, policial moral or moral policial to the world, the society,
Yeah. Yes,
the
it's
American
true.
society.
A police, yeah, moral. Well,
But
Eduardo,
it's difficult. Okay.
yes, it is difficult. Estuve hablando con la coordinadora, em,
Bien,
mm, porque lo que se da en tu producción es, el discurso está como muy desorganizado, hay omisión
bien,
de sujeto, y me sugirió que comenzáramos a trabajar con un nivel más bajo para darte la oportunidad de organizar mejor el
bien.
discurso. Lo que me
Per-
dijeron finalmente es que ellos no preparan First Certificate, que la
ah,
consulta no tiene dentro de sus productos la preparación de First Certificate.
bien,
Em, lo que sí yo noto eso de que sí, por ejemplo, no tenés incorporado todavía lo que es there is y there are. Hay
bien.
sustantivos que usas como adjetivos o adjetivos que usas como sustantivos. El orden de la oración está como desorganizado. Creo que responde mucho a encodificar el idioma con la estructura española con palabras en inglés,
Ujú,
porque viste que en castellano
bien.
tenemos una flexibilidad infinita debido a la inflexión del verbo, ¿viste? Entonces ponemos, sacamos, y se entiende. En inglés no, esto es bien rígido, es sujeto, verbo, predicado. Y no hay muy poquita movilidad de algunas cositas, pero si no, eso es lo que rige más que nada la estructuración de la oración.
Sí,
Eh,
perfecto.
y bueno, no sé porque no me dijo con qué material debíamos seguir. Así que yo ahora, bueno, le voy a comunicar a Ana Omastot, creo que se llama, no me acuerdo el apellido. Es
Ok,
la account manager que está a cargo del curso. Y bueno,
bueno.
le voy a consultar con ella, voy a consultar con ella a ver qué material sugiere que trabajemos.
Bueno, pero me parece perfecto, sí, sí, es muy
Ok.
probable.
Bueno,
Quizás,
más que nada como para que puedas, digamos, hacer un barrido de todo lo que está haciendo ruido y logres llegar
bien,
a una producción asertiva, ¿no? Que tengas una
claro,
producción correcta.
coincido, sí, sí, quizá evidentemente me falta un poco más de base y todo lo que refuerce eso, yo estoy de acuerdo, absolutamente.
En paralelo, lo que se me ocurre podés hacer por tu cuenta, hay una aplicación que se
Ujú.
llama Duolingo. Si
Sí,
bien
Duolingo.
recurre mucho a la traducción, pero a mí me resultó mucho con uno de mis alumnos que tenía esta misma dificultad. Por ejemplo, yo
Mm,
le decía, bueno, contame la película que viste. Él me decía, quizás más, vos tenés más recursos, por eso ella me habla de un nivel antes, quizás, y no más, pero tenés más vocabulario. Lo que pasa es que a veces como que no usas la forma de la palabra que corresponde. En el caso de mi alumno, bueno, yo le decía, qué sé yo, contame ET. Hablaba, me decía, monster, children, eh, qué sé yo, homesick, por decirte algo, ¿no? Entonces, y él no lograba desarrollar la oración.
sí,
Bueno,
claro,
en forma autónoma comenzó con la aplicación, pero lo sostenía como en forma obsesiva, ¿no? Era como que iba y
ok.
volvía constantemente y hasta que no sacaba todo el nivel correcto, no pasaba al otro nivel. Y vos sabés que eso le generó esta estructuración de la oración, ¿no?
Mm,
Logró internalizar cómo había que encodificar el idioma. La desgracia que
interesante,
tiene, digamos, sí, fue bastante interesante porque, ya te digo, era una constante y algo que estaba como rígido en él, como que lo
claro.
necesita aprender para poder internalizar esta buena encodificación. Lo que a mí me hace ruido de esa aplicación es la traducción, que es algo que vos necesitas también, como que muchas veces necesitas recurrir a la traducción para poder comprender.
Sí,
Em, yo diría que en pos de lograr ese ordenamiento, que utilices esta aplicación durante un tiempito como para hacer esta internalización de estructuración sacrificando el ruido que pueda
Bien,
generar la traducción. Y luego
bien,
evitarlo para que esto no se acentúe, ¿no?
está
Pero
claro. Pero está
de
bueno,
bajar
me viene
aplicación,
bien el
te haces,
feedback.
te haces un testeo de nivelación y como
Bueno,
allí, como para trabajar en forma paralela todos los días, ponerle, viste que se planifica, que puedes hacer 5
sí,
minutitos todos los días. Bueno,
sí.
y vamos viendo a ver cómo lo vamos coordinando. Si te surgen dudas por ahí, lo podemos hacer. Esto es algo que te lo estoy sugiriendo yo en este momento que se me ocurre ahora, no fue algo
No,
que te
me
lo
parece
charlara
bien
vos.
como ayuda. Yo en su momento, hace unos años, lo había explorado, eh, pero bueno, después como siempre iba con algún curso, digamos, en la empresa. Pero bueno, la realidad es que a mí el año pasado, cuando, bueno, por ahí, por la posición que cambié, me dijeron que necesitaba como acelerar el proceso.
Mm,
eh, Me sorprendió un poco el hecho de que creo que me pasaron a intermedio avanzado, algo así, cuando en
sí,
realidad
sí.
a mí también no estaba para tanto, pero bueno, en buena
Sí,
hora que
a
lo
mí me
podamos
parece que
revisar.
si tenés es un upper intermediate y estaríamos en el segundo proyecto, ¿no? Entonces, para mí es como que es mejor volver atrás
Sí,
por el hecho
para
de que
aprovecharlo
eh,
mejor.
frente a una reunión auténtica te vas a encontrar en un estado como de angustia también, porque
No, es que ya me ha pasado.
por eso.
Ya me ha pasado. Está perfecto. Coincido con vos, Nilce. Así que
Bueno,
empezamos
yo lo
así
que le voy a pedir a la
desde la
coordinadora
semana que
que,
viene.
bien, sí, no sé cómo serán los tiempos de entrega del material en ese sentido, por siempre, bueno, dicen que en 24 horas lo dan, pero yo lo voy a hablar con ella. Lo que sí voy a preguntarle, ella me dijo un nivel antes, no sé si va a ser B1 Upper Intermediate o se refiere al nivel, ¿no?
Claro,
Yo iría más por el nivel, ¿no? Como para que todo esto
sí,
se organice y te dé
sí,
tiempo a incorporar vocabulario también, porque hay muchas palabras que a lo mejor para una upper intermediate ya tendrían que estar incorporadas, pero no están como parte de tu repertorio, al menos de reconocimiento, ¿viste? Porque a veces no es que producimos las palabras, pero que vos las podés identificar y seguís adelante. Pero hay algunas palabras
correcto.
que no están en esa instancia tampoco. Entonces, por eso mismo es que me comuniqué con la coordinadora para ver cómo seguíamos, si ellos determinaban que seguíamos así o si evaluaban reestructurar el nivel, ¿no? Así que
Ujú.
te mantengo al tanto de acuerdo a lo que me diga la coordinadora. ¿Mm?
Bueno, sí, me
Ya
parece
está.
perfecto.
Bueno,
Y en principio entonces, ¿te parece entonces programamos para el viernes próximo?
sí, yo ya las moví
Ah,
frente
listo.
a English Services para los viernes, porque informé que vos siempre tenés alguna capacitación,
Bien,
entonces
sí,
queda un viernes 9 de la mañana.
sí, listo, listo, listo.
Bueno,
Bueno,
muy
cualquier cosa
bien,
dale, gracias por
perfecto,
el feedback.
perfecto. No es nada, al contrario, gracias a vos.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Bye
welcome.
bye.
Bye bye. See you. Have a nice weekend.
Bye. Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye. Okay.